Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and today we are going to be reorganising the arts and crafts and games cupboard. So as I just mentioned, today I'm going to be reorganising the arts and crafts and games cupboard. So these two cupboards are where we store the arts and crafts items and the games as well. This is where we're storing them for now. I'm hoping that if and when we get a wardrobe in my son's bedroom, we'll be able to put a lot of the games up there, and then we'll be able to move some crockery that we used to store in these cupboards back down. But for now, this is where all of the arts and crafts and games are housed, and this area of our home did get very messy, and I felt that I needed to tidy it out, especially now because we're homeschooling again, and I needed a space to put Ted's homeschooling work, and this is the perfect place, I think, in this cupboard. So when we first started homeschooling again in January, at the beginning of January, we were leaving stuff lying on the table, and as you can see, this cupboard is very messy, and we were just sort of putting stuff everywhere. So I decided that it was about time I had a tidy up of these cupboards, and I've organised the pens and colouring pencils again, and the crayons as well, so they're all reorganised. And yeah, I just had a really good tidy of this cupboard, and I just wanted to share what I did with you, just in case you feel like you need a tidy of a cupboard like this and you need some inspiration. This process, I moved the table across to the other side of the room, so I moved it as far as it would go, so I pushed it all the way to the island, and then I started to empty the first cupboard with all of the arts and crafts items in. You will notice Ted and Howard in this video. I'm doing this on a Saturday afternoon, and they are playing Guitar Hero while I'm tidying out this cupboard, so they are in this video a little bit. But yes, as I said, I just started to take everything out of this cupboard, and then once everything was on the table, I started to sort through all the piles of paperwork and books. There were some things that Ted wanted to keep, and there were a few items that I managed to throw into the recycling, and there are a few books in here that will hopefully go to charity shops or a better home. I have those up in a pile in my spare room at the moment, and I keep meaning to take a photograph of them, and I'll probably try to put them on Facebook and see if anybody wants them. If they don't, then I'll take them to a charity shop. But yes, and if they do, then they can come and collect them. So yes, I sorted through all of these piles, and once I had sorted through all of these piles, I then started to put everything back, but I'll talk about that in a moment. I also had a tidy out of my desk tidy that sits on top of the games cupboard. This really needed a good clear out. There are a few things in here that I didn't really need anymore. There was a magazine that I kept meaning to give back to my mum as well. That's been in there for about 6 months. I think that's been in there since the first lockdown. And there were receipts in here that we didn't really need anymore. And I was really pleased once I'd had a tidy out of this area. And then I moved on to cleaning the inside of the cupboards. So I'm just using my Method spray, and I dusted inside of the cupboards, and then once that was done, I bought some boxes, some old CD boxes that we store in the loft at the moment, and I brought those downstairs, and I'm actually using these as pen and pencil holders. The baskets that we had they were okay, but pens kept falling out the side of them and it really started to annoy me. So I thought these boxes were much better for storing pens and pencils, and what I did was I put all of the pens into one box and all of the pencils into the other, and the pencils have the pencils and the crayons in, and I think the pens have the pens and the chalk in. So yes, I was really pleased once I'd done this job, and it looks so much tidier. You'll see this later in the video, but it looks really neat and tidy now in this. And I also managed to get all of the paints into one of these CD boxes as well. And I think I've also put the bean bags in another CD box as well. So I was really pleased. It all looks really neat and tidy in this area. I think I'm going to be able to show you that in a moment. But yeah, really pleased that I'd done this. And it's so much easier for Ted to find things now. He can find his pens and his pencils, and I have actually labelled these boxes as well. As you can see here, I'm just organising the bean bags, and they're going to go into another one of those CD boxes as I mentioned earlier. So off they go, and there's a few odds and sods that went into that box as well, and then that went in the cupboard as well. And then I just continue sorting out the colouring books now. This took me a little time. There were a few colouring books that are going to be going to the charity shop because some of them Ted hasn't even touched. He's not a great colourer, I have to say. I used to love colouring as a kid, but my son doesn't seem to enjoy it as much. He has to be in the mood for colouring. I don't know if there are any other parents out there who have children like this, but he really has to be in the mood for colouring and drawing. And I bought him all these colouring books and some of them haven't been touched, so I'm thinking that hopefully I'll be able to find a new home for them. So as I said earlier, I'll probably put them on Facebook, and if nobody wants them then I'll take them to the charity shop. Then I started to sort through all of Ted's homeschooling worksheets and equipment. So Ted has had a lot of printouts recently, so I wanted to put those all into a folder, and then I started to sort through the rest of the homeschooling stuff. He has had a lot of printouts, and he does have books that he's brought home from school as well. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to put these into an in-tray, and then he'll be able to pull out the in-tray in the morning. So I'm going to send Howard to the Poundland just to buy an in-tray. And then I started to sort through these science packs that Father Christmas brought Ted for Christmas last year. I keep wanting to say this year, but it was last year. So yes, I just sorted through all these. I pulled out a box and I put everything that was in the boxes into that one box, and then put that back into the cupboard. And then I moved on to sorting out the games. So there were some games in this cupboard that Ted and Howard and I don't really play with. So I've put those back upstairs now, and I brought down some games from the cupboard upstairs where we store the rest of our games, and put them in here. And he did get some new games as well. Someone kindly sent us some games. I'm not sure who sent them to us. I think it might have been the boy that we gave the toys to. So in my last cleaning video I did a toy reorganisation, and we managed to get rid of a few toys, and we gave them to a boy who's being fostered, and I think their family actually sent us some games, which wasn't the point of our exercise, but they sent us some games which was really nice for Ted to play with, some puzzles and things. So I wanted to get those into this cupboard, and I managed to do that. I also gave the inside of this cupboard a quick clean as well, so I used my Method spray to clean this cupboard. Method is a non-toxic spray, so it's got no chemical nasties in it, so it's great to use around your home, especially in the kitchen area. And the spray I used is a polish, it's a furniture polish, and it actually smells like cherry bakewell as well, so it smells really nice when you spray it. So I love using that. So yes, once I'd done that, I then labelled these boxes, as you can see here, and I put everything back into the games cupboard, and everything was already in the arts and crafts cupboard, so everything is looking really neat and tidy again now. And I managed to get my laptop in here as well, into this cupboard, and I also managed to get my cameras and my light as well into this cupboard as well. And then once that was done, all I had to do was simply move the table back, and everything was reorganized. So that's how I've reorganised my arts and crafts and games cupboard, and that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. I'd love to know if you've been reorganising during lockdowns as well. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.